Welcome to Insights, where we delve into spiritual topics and discuss ways to better ourselves and our relationships with others. Today, we have our special guest, Matt, who will be talking to us about the relationship between Moses and the people and how it relates to our spiritual journey. Matt, welcome to Insights. Matt, can you tell us more about the relationship between Moses and the people?
Yes, of course, Rob. The Creator purposely sent great darkness upon Egypt, meaning great resistance to connection and all kinds of other disturbances. We must understand why it had to be this way just when Israel was preparing to leave Egypt.
How can we continue to advance on the spiritual path?
To the extent that we recognize the Creator as the source of everything, we will continue to advance on the path. We must help each other continue in the work, above the difficulty and resistance that we encounter along the way. Precisely this way, by overcoming disturbances and learning from them, we receive our correction.
And what does it mean to be ready to leave Egypt?
If we don't feel mutual support between us, we are not ready to leave Egypt. We need to reach the state of becoming one man in one heart and feel connected with everyone, to rise above our will to receive and bestow to one another and to the Creator. That's our work.
Okay, can you talk more about the difficulties we may face on the path?
As the path becomes more difficult, with many obstacles and stones along the path, we begin to feel a lack of interest and other such disturbances in our mind and heart, and the work becomes more difficult.
So, how do we know if we are advancing on the path?
We must reach a state of despair when we do not know what to do. When the problems begin to increase and we feel that we don't have the same vigor, the strength, enthusiasm, and joy in the work, it is a sign that we are advancing, that we have already entered the actual work.
Okay, Matt, and how do we receive help from above?
Precisely when we reach the point of exhaustion and despair, then we receive help from above. Even though we are moving closer to the exit, we are still operating in the dark and do not see or feel that we are getting any closer. This is why Moses had to explain that all our progress is only in the connection, by how much closer we get to each other.
Okay, so can you talk more about the importance of connection?
The closer we get to each other, the closer we get to leaving Egypt. Before we leave Egypt, we must overcome the will to receive and be above it. This is when we will feel that we are already in some kind of connection between us.
And how did the Israelites agree to follow Moses in the dark?
This is what we are learning now. How to follow Moses even though there is darkness in front of us and we cannot see any way to go against Pharaoh, namely against our increasingly growing will to receive.
Why is spiritual work so difficult, Matt?
Spiritual work is difficult because it is so opposite to our natural inclination. Anyone who wants to get out of Egypt must understand that it is impossible to do in our own strength and be willing to annul before the upper force, the Creator. Those who find it too difficult or are afraid of annulling their self remain slaves to Pharaoh.
What can we do to go against our ego and follow Moses?
We must learn how to go against the ego and follow Moses. We must learn how to follow Moses against our nature, against the resistance. We have to reveal the evil of the will to receive and be desperate to escape it. We must feel bad in Egypt and want to be freed from Pharaoh's control at any price.
This is a really important concept, Matt, so can you elaborate a bit more, please?
We must learn how to annul ourselves before the group, before the goal, before the upper force, the Creator. It means that we need to put our ego aside, not just suppress it, but actually raise above it and act according to the principle of love your neighbor as yourself.
That sounds like a difficult task. How can we achieve it?
It is indeed difficult, but it is achievable. We need the help of the upper force, which we can receive only if we work together as a group. The group is like a supportive environment that helps us to rise above our egoistic nature.
How can we make the group work?
The group should be formed with the same intention, the intention to connect to the Creator. We need to constantly work on our relationships with the friends in the group, supporting each other and constantly reminding each other of the goal. It is only through mutual support that we can achieve this.
So it's all about relationships with others?
Yes, it is. Our spiritual progress depends on the quality of our relationships with others. We must learn how to connect with others in a way that is not based on egoistic desires and demands, but on mutual bestowal and love.
So how can we recognize when we're making progress?
We will feel it. Our inner qualities will change. We will become less selfish and more altruistic. We will start to feel more connected to others and to the Creator. We will feel the importance of this connection and will strive to deepen it further.
That sounds like a great goal. How can we motivate ourselves to achieve it?
We need to remember that the purpose of our lives is to reveal the Creator. This is the ultimate goal of our existence. We should remind ourselves of this goal constantly and work together to achieve it. The more we focus on this goal, the more we will be motivated to overcome our egoistic nature and to connect with others.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for joining us today and sharing insights into the spiritual work of leaving Egypt and following Moses. It's clear that this work is not easy, but it's essential for our spiritual growth and connection to the Creator.
Thank you, Rob, for having me. It's been a pleasure to discuss these important topics with you and our listeners.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We hope that this conversation has given you some inspiration and guidance on your spiritual path. Join us again next time for more discussions on spirituality and personal growth.